Finally over. It's finally over. Gotta get through the holidays, man. Made it. Survived. Find out. What y'all doing up there? People working? Working. I looked at the news a little bit today. A little bit. Look and see what's happening in the human world. Working for a living. Uh-oh, things looking funky this morning. Looking funky. I'm getting y'all's notifications. They don't. I don't think it's the deep state. I don't know what it is. They just don't want to send out notifications. They don't want the software. I don't talk about consciousness today. I want to talk about manifestation. Share it out here. Good morning, Lori. Good morning. How are you doing this morning? All right, looking kind of slow this morning. Where are all the slaves at? Y'all want to go to work today? People don't want to go to work today. The holidays are finally over. It's okay. We survived it. So everybody gets to go back to work. Some of us worked through the whole holiday. Some of us, we just kept going. We don't stop. Living life is about living life. What I do for a living, I live for a living. That's what I do. What I do today might be different from what I do tomorrow. We'll get this shared out on a few ones. This page, that page, other page. We'll find YouTube. All right. We made it through the awards. What did that Ty did that, the live streamer awards? That was kind of funny. There was YouTube. There. I want to talk about busy work today. Busy work. Taking a whole planet of people that should be sitting around manifesting interesting things, moving us forward, getting them to work for a living. I think it's the greatest waste of space. I think the greatest waste of space is your job. And I think you can dominate an entire planet of people. You can completely get them to do your will. If you can convince them that their only purpose in life, the only purpose of life, is to eat. Work to eat and to make them a lot of money. I think it's busy work. I think it's busy work. I don't think human beings should have careers. Make them a lot of money. Like I was looking at Zeitgeist movement I was looking at this weekend. That was interesting. Of course, the big ball fell, the apple fell. So it was 2019, everybody. Yay, slavery. Forced labor, Earth. Yay, everybody, let's go. Go Team Human. Team Human, Human, Human. Who do you work for? Who does everybody work for? Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin. Oh, the pharmaceutical. AstraZeneca. Merck. Monsanto. Yay! Everybody go to work. Yes. 2019, we're going to be different this year. Yay! All right, so this is what I was thinking about today. Everything the human being has ever conceived be achieved. Everything. Going back to the beginning of time, whether it be the wheel and the cart, the car, flight, the airplane, going across vast oceans in boats and clipper ships, nuclear submarines, flying in space, going to the stars. Everything we actually ever thought of, we achieved. Think about the power of that. I don't think the ancients are crazy. I don't think they're not. I think we're crazy. I think they got it and we don't. I think they understood we are manifestation engines. That's all we are. We think of things and a later generation doesn't. We think of something else, later generation does it. Until today. Now we work to eat. We work to have some socks. We work to have a home. We work to get in out of the rain. We have become a busy work planet. Because all this is busy work. I'm going to tell you, I'll be the first one to tell you, a career is a waste of space. It's a complete waste. It's the greatest waste of energy and space on this planet. Having a job or career and working for a corporation to make them more money so you can get in out of the rain and put food in your belly. It's just stupid. It is the dumbest thing that we've ever come up with. That might be a necessary evil at a certain point in time in the past. But I think you use those things to get to a certain point where you can do something else. Oh, my mind was messed up this morning. I was watching, what was I watching? I was watching Brother Paul, I posted it. Brother Paul Cynic, whatever his name is, Cynic, something like that, worked for one of the workers in the deep state. Who did he work for? General Dynamics, astro engineer, rocket scientist. That's what he was. Rocket scientist, smart man. Smart man. He had a pocket protector, smart man, smart company. So we're talking about some of the projects he's worked on, some of the things he's seen, some of the things they did back in the 60s, right? He was talking about, I can show you a clip from him if you want to. I'll post it. He was talking about back in the 1960s, we had nuclear weapons you could put in briefcases. A nuclear was a 1/4 ton yield that can fit like almost in your hand like that. But then in the 1980s, we made the space weapons. Reagan made Star Wars program to use lasers to stop massive rockets the size of apartment buildings from flying into your nation. You think that? I don't see, that doesn't make any sense to me. If somebody can make a nuke the size of a cell phone, stick it in their pocket and walk into your country by the 1980s, then you're not going to tell me that we put some massive space satellites in space to shoot massive rockets the size of school buses. That doesn't make any damn sense to me. That's why I know they're always lying. They're always lying about something. They're always up to something. But I think it's important to consider, like, how do you become a breakaway species? Like, how do you make a breakaway civilization? Gotta keep everybody else busy. You gotta get them doing something else. You gotta get them focused. You gotta take food from them. You gotta prevent them from getting houses and like having any sort of survival. You gotta put a lot of fear in them to make them go to work and get a career for the rest of their life and convince them that that is what life is. That human beings aren't manifestation engines, that the earth shouldn't be a think tank of billions of people just thinking, not hard labor and war and fighting each other, but actually thinking and manifesting what will come next. I think if you discover the power of 0-point energy, that energy is everywhere. E equals MC squared. What does that tell you? It tells you matter doesn't actually really exist. Like one of the things he was talking about, you know, if you take the atomic mass of a human being, you can fit it on the head of a pin, right? Because the actual atoms that make up all your cells and everything, they're further apart. The little particles, the atoms, are actually further apart than what is it? The earth is from the sun, like massive distances on that scale. That if you took the mass of a human being, it would fit on the point of a pin. You don't need to lose weight, girl. That's what. You know, people put that my New Year's resolution. I need to lose a little weight, girl. I need to get on I need to get on the treadmill. I need to stop drinking so much of that beer. You don't actually weigh anything. Yeah, nothing. You are mostly energy in space. That's it. That's the crazy thing. 98% of the human being It's space. It's just energy. Why you think I'm like kidding when I say I'm wave energy? I don't know about you. You might be a bag of goo. I'm not. I like science. I'm wave energy. Like you're actually just interacting with fields. Like what you're seeing right now, you're like, you don't make no sense. You sound crazy. What you're looking at right now is you're looking at my 2% atoms and those 2% particles. The only reason that you can see them is because you're looking at them. That's it. If everybody, let me do experiment. That's how it works, right? Because you know that from the quantum physics experiments, that when you're not looking at a particle, when nothing's observing it, it's just a wave. So if you're not looking at me, I'm actually not even here. Everybody turn around. Everybody turn around. Stop looking. Watch, look, see, watch. I'm gone. Let me do that another way. So everybody stop looking at me. Everybody look. Everybody turned away. Everybody looking. I'm gone. You can't see me. Nobody's looking at me because you can't see me. Because I'm not here. Because I'm wave energy. It's actually how this crazy stuff works. Now everybody turn around. Turn around. See, look, I came back. See, that's the experience. See how that works? So we're 98% space and energy and 2% particle that's only here when something's interacting with it. Boom! That should blow your mind. That alone, you shouldn't be going to work right now. That like that alone right there makes me not want to go to work. That alone, I'm just like, what the hell? What's the job? Lying a long time. They've been lying to us. And that's how the only way you get a breakaway civilization is you got to convince people of things that just simply aren't true. Aren't true at all. So if you have more energy between my thumb and my fingertip than all the energy that's ever been created on this planet ever, you can run the entire earth, every city, every country, in the space between my hands. That literally energy is everywhere. Everything is energy. All matter is energy. All we don't have is a tap. It's the only thing we don't have. You can convert everything to energy. You can pull, and that's outside of 0 point. That's outside of the fact that all universes interact, all dimensions, they're all interacting all the time. You just don't have a tap to pull the energy from those other dimensions. They're just other ecosystems related to our ecosystem. It's all relational. And yet those 5,000 patents, they won't release. That's why I like to always go back to that, right? Because how do you keep people working? Energy. Energy. What is eating? Energy. You convince people they're going to die unless they do what you want. And that's how you make a breakaway civilization. You convince them of things just simply aren't true. And then they can go be a doctor. They can go study to be a lawyer. They can go be a construction worker and farmer and go do all the things that we haven't had to do for probably 100 years, probably longer. We are a slave planet. We are a slave planet, and we're always being lied to. So half the time I kind of just look at the news and I look around at the world and see what the forced labor world is up to. I try to pull people back. I try to pull them out of it. Like we always hand on to the next generation our problems. We always hand on our ignorance. We always hand on all the conflicts. Like I don't even want to talk about that today. All the tribalism, racial, religion, and nations. And nations are just gangs, by the way. Everybody know that. Y'all just gangs. They're just gangs. They're no different. No different. Nations, continents, whatever conflict you have. Y'all just gangs. It's a bunch of gangs. You got bandanas and flags and you got your signs, and that's all school is. It's indoctrination to convince you that the last generation's problems are your problems, that you need to go fight with other people that you don't know. You need to fight over resources instead of working together as a global think tank. So I don't believe in nations. I don't believe anymore. I don't believe in any of it. I think in life, you're either finding yourself to determine what you believe, or you're living somebody else's belief systems. And if you think I'm talking about religion, religion is just one little belief system. and all these other belief systems. Why they spend so much time with children in school, getting them to say the Pledge of Allegiance, getting them to worship a flag, getting them to idolize a nation, getting them to idolize the elite. Another thing I was thinking about, I hate Disney. I do. I hate them. And it's not even, I'm not sure if it's Disney, it might be somebody else. Like, you ever notice all the kids' movies, cartoons, they're funny and they're wonderful and fantastic, but why do they focus on princesses so much? Why do they focus on princes, kings and queens? Like, I think they're moving us forward, and you've got all these different colored creatures and animals and aliens and all these things interacting, and they're like preparing people for the real world, that we're not actually alone. We're only alone in our own little beady little heads that aren't actually there because they're just energy. But they keep reinforcing this idea that it's okay that there be princes. It's okay that there be princesses and queens, and our little daughters walk around, they want to be the princess, and little boys walk around, they want to be the prince. And it's normal that there's a king. It's normal to have people who are ruled and rulers, and that we should cherish the rulers. We should revere the rulers. We should clap for them, that they have to have nicer clothes and they live in palaces, and it's okay that you live in a mud hut. That's what you're supposed to do. They're supposed to be betters and lessers, and all of this is indoctrination. All of this just ramps up into this apocalypse we have of forced labor, careers and jobs. I don't think humans are supposed to work for food. I don't think you should be working to live. I think that is the greatest waste of energy on the planet. If the human being is 98% energy, or no, if the human is 2% matter, and it's only that 2%, some of the time when something's looking at or interacting with it, it's all energy. And the greatest waste of that energy is to take all that energy and make it dig a ditch. Make it be an accountant. Make it work for the financial sector. To force it in order to live and exist, it has to actually collect resources from other energy things and give it to a massive, powerful elite. That's insanity. It's beyond that. It is the greatest waste. We are all manifestation engines. From the fax machine to the jet engine, whatever we think, whatever they call paranormal. I don't talk about paranormal for me. Like, you know how they look at things that are paranormal, and everything paranormal is crazy. It's not normal. It's paranormal. And I don't think that that's real. What if the para is actually the normal, and we are just hubris drenched creatures that actually think what we see and what's handed to us, the belief systems handed to us, are normal. And really, the normal is we actually are dumb as a bag of bricks, and we really don't know what's going on. We don't know that there are multiple dimensions interacting with us. We call it a ghost. It's not a ghost. It's an elephant walking by in an adjacent dimension. It's just walking by. Paranormal. I think we're just impaired. I think we are impaired because we believe what was given to us. That's why I say, people, stop believing. Stop believing. Go find yourself. Don't let other people hand you your slavery. Hand you your labor. It just blew my mind. It blew my mind listening to some of the things he was talking about. And it's just really made me understand. Like I said, I posted the link. You can watch his testimony. It was a part of the Disclosure Project. You know, the brothers who came together and the sisters who basically said, your universe is a lie. All your governments are lying to you. We have all of these energy devices and things that make mutants real. Mutants. Just think about it like this. Ever watch X-Men? I was a comic book kid. I used to watch comic books. I used to read comic books all the time. Love me some comic books. Love me the fantasy. If you can pull more energy that's being produced on the entire planet right out of this little space, out of the matter that's between my fingers, or even 0 point from another dimension, what mutant creature that you see on these Super Friends and DC Comics and Marvel, what couldn't you do? If you actually could tap into that, what couldn't you do? Nothing. You could fly, you could blow things up, shoot laser rays out your eyes, your teeth, your boogers, you turn around, fart, and laser fly out. What's that show? That show was I think it's a Pixar with a dog. It farts and lasers shoot out. You can do anything. The problem is we don't have the tap. We don't have the tap. That's it. All of this stuff is real. All of this stuff is possible. All of this stuff we conceive. Everything we've ever conceived, we can damn achieve, and we always do. Few generations down the road, they say, that's crazy, that's paranormal. Humans can't do that, we'll never do that, and then they do it. That should be like the biggest wake-up call for everybody on this planet. We are so much better than this. The earth needs to be a think tank. Finding the different taps. But this is what I suspect. I suspect they found various taps. I think that's what the Disclosure Project is about. I think that's what those 5,000 energy projects are about. I think Nikola Tesla and all his documents still being redacted, I think that's what it's about. They found taps and they're not telling you. Because I did not tell me. I don't believe I don't believe your CIA, your FBI, your DHS, your deep state, your America, your Russia, your France, your MI6. I don't believe none of them. I know they're all lying. Half of them lying don't even know they're lying. Because they watch Disney cartoons. They grow up believing in the prince. They grew up believing in the king. And they just want to serve in the royal court. Meanwhile, there's a breakaway civilization that has taps. The energy systems that they won't share, because we can't grow up and accept that the taps are more important than everything else. That's right. I'm saying we need to tap that. Can I tap that? We need to tap that. I'm saying life is about OPP. That's exactly what I'm saying. Life is about other people's particles. We need to put, what if we, here's a question. What if we took all of these resources we allocate for war, and we put all of that energy, all of that money that they're printing, all of those people, millions of people, not only fighting the wars, but building the equipment to murder and kill other people, and made them look for the taps. Made them look for the taps. Not just the declassified ones they don't want to tell you about because they need you to go to work today. They need you to have resolutions in 2019 to lose weight, and you can't even fit on the pen of a pencil. You don't even have the atomic mass because they need you to go to work. They need you to work so they can continue to move on finding other taps. Who is that? Stacy? Damn it, Stacy did this to me. Y'all blame her. I'm gonna tell you why Stacy did this to me. That's our resident alien. She ain't even from here. She sent me this video this morning, and I've seen these things. I'm gonna show you one of them. I've been watching these things, but it's funny. It's kind of like how you watch something and you don't get what you're supposed to take from it. You only get a piece of it, but then you watch it years later and like, oh, like I was missing the whole consciousness stuff. I was missing the whole meditation and yoga, all the ancient things, the things the ancients believed, the crystals and the energy and manifestation and all of the Mahabharata and the Sanskrit text and Jesus walking on water and all of these things I was missing out on. But when you start adding it all up, it all starts making sense. It's like, whoa. Like we really are the dummies. We're the dummies, y'all. We're the dummies. We're the dumb monkeys that are going to work. And while there's some sort of a breakaway civilization that's mastering energy with these taps that they refuse to share with us. All right, I'm gonna show a little bit of this. Stacy sent this to me.
Sphere where the edge of the sun's interaction is with free space. That's 3 light years away. And that would take 150 years. So in the conventional terms, no, you can't explain it. It has to be, if the physics that have to explain that are quantum physics in which things can appear to be almost 2 places at the same time and appear and reappear just like positrons and electrons do in some of the...
Let me get a little background. What he was talking about, he's explaining how all these UFOs that you don't see, and I don't think I've ever, I think I might have saw one. I don't know. But he's explaining how they appear to be in two places, how they can disappear and reappear, and that when you start talking about 0 point in quantum physics, that particles can exist in multiple places as waves, and so how the ships move back and forth. You know, the big triangle UFOs, the ones that flew over that hundreds of people all saw at the same time, looking up, seeing it. Now, I'm not saying it's aliens again, because I don't know. Personally, I think it's just the breakaway civilization. I think it's just us. The us that doesn't go to work every day. The us that ain't trying to figure out what we're going to do for lunch today. It's 9:30. Girl, let's go to the mall. Let's get the real people that have the technology that are pulling the energy away. So that's what he was kind of talking about.
High energy particle colliders. It's probably not anything pushing it through the air. It's a coupling of the device with the energy that permeates space. Probably Tesla was as close to it when he said that if given the right energy system, the right electromagnetic spectrum, I can power a human base on Mars from Earth without any loss of energy. In quantum physics and 0 point energy, that's a possibility. But literally, Sakharov and the number of people that were working on it, I think, are very, very convincing arguments that the fabric of space is like an ocean, an energy ocean, in which solid energy is floating on it, and solid energy is the mass. And if that's true, then gravity waves exist, and in fact, everything goes back to Heaviside equations, and it's waves, not particles. And the quantum is now not mass, but time. And if that's true, then there's a whole different, you look at the whole universe in a different light.
Look at the whole universe in a different light when you realize energy is everywhere. When you realize that all matter is energy, and the only thing you don't have is a tap to tap into it. When you listen to engineers and they try to explain to you that, oh, 0 point can't exist, and you can't actually pull energy out of space, and people who actually see these ships, people who've seen them, going back to, was it 1492? Where's that, in Nuremberg, Germany, where they look up and they saw all those big ships flying around? Oh, it's impossible. I think that when we see things like that, and we've seen them in the ancient past, all the way back to the Native Americans and the Aborigines and everything else, we start manifesting it. We see it, we realize it's possible, and in the future, we start doing it. And what I believe is we're already doing it. I believe the whistleblowers. I believe all the people who are throwing away their careers telling us things that this gentleman is. And by the way, who is this? This is Paul Sisnick. He's a professor at, what university? I forgot what university he's at. But I'll post the link. You can watch his whole interview. But he's kind of explaining these things. When you start to think about things differently, you see them differently. And it's not even about energy and free 0 point in any of that. It's about life. When you tell children what to believe, their whole life becomes about those constructs. When you start to think about consciousness and you start to think about maybe the world isn't the way they say it is. Maybe people actually don't have to work to eat. Maybe people are just energy. Maybe they are supposed to just sit there and manifest amazing new things. Maybe human beings are stewards of the planet. Maybe we should, at a practical level, solve scarcity. I posted a great talk from the Zeitgeist movement this weekend, where they're explaining how do we get there, right? How do we move from a slave-based forced labor society to a society where people are just born and they just think, they manifest. See, I don't believe in the Wall-E future. I don't think that if people sat around, they drink smoothies, get fat, and ride hovercrafts. I don't believe that. I think we're creators. We're all creators. We all want to create. We all have a need to create things. But we're forced into labor to feed breakaway civilization. We're forced into labor so we don't think differently. We don't think about powerful things that would elevate the next generation far beyond us. And I think we should. I think we should. I think we're locked into this slave-like mind that we can't get out of. But if you can convince people that people like this professor and thousands of others and the Nikola Teslas aren't right, then they'll go to work every single day. They'll believe in the system. They'll believe in the politics and the political parties. They'll believe in the nations. They'll believe they are a nation. They'll believe they should fight the next region over. They'll believe they should fight the next tribe. Who's that, Brother Walter? Oh, brother, you know what? Listen, how you doing? I was watching that conversation this weekend. And this is why I think it's all connected. It's all related. I appreciate y'all nominating me for somebody. What y'all nominate me for? The live streamer with the widest topics. I appreciate that. It's because everything's connected. It's all connected, and it always has been. I was watching, because what we're talking about, Walter? You're talking about Bernie. All right, I got some Bernie folks here. I know y'all still believe. I know I got a whole bunch that don't believe and some that do believe. I'm just not a believer. I'm not a believer. I don't believe, going back and forth whether or not you can fix a Bernie, if you can fix a Trump, if you can fix an Obama, if you can fix a Clinton. And I'm not really a fixer. I mean, I believe in you fix the environment, and if the people want to fix themselves, they can. There are a lot of people who still believe in that discussion thread was, oh, be nice, Walter. Be nice. You're a little rough. Walter's a little thug sometimes. Be nice. People will embrace it if they kind of start to think about it, right? Like, if Bernie's such a good guy, such a good man, he actually gets to do the things that he says he wants to do, how come he doesn't? How come he votes for all the wars like everybody else? He talks great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like what he says. I like what he says. I like some of the things Trump said. I like some of the things Obama said. I like some of the things everybody says, but they actually don't end up doing them because we don't control any of this because we believe. You believe in the left. They believe in the right. You believe in Bernie. They believe in Trump. And this thing never gets fixed because the system is what keeps everybody doing the same stupid things. The system is what divides everybody up. So we can't sit around and think about what's important. They can keep forced labor going because nobody wins when everybody's divided. That's why I don't believe anymore. I'm not a believer. Is Bernie a good guy? I don't know, and I don't care to know. To be honest with you, I don't. I'm not interested in knowing. I don't believe in the system. I believe in people. I believe in the human race. I believe we should be a think tank. I don't believe anybody on this broadcast should be at work right now. I think you should be at home with your children. I think you should be at home with your wife. I believe, and it's not even that I believe, I know that we have the automation so you can stay home. Why? Because to me, you are more valuable, not as a JP Morgan analyst, but sitting at home, raising children to become the phenomenal energy-like creatures they should be. One of your children might make that warp technology or that photon beam that can shoot asteroids out the sky. That's more important. All the politicians, the system makes them all lie. Every single one of them. They can give you health care anytime you want, anytime they want. They can print the money, but they don't. They don't. Like, just use your brain for a minute, just for a little bit. Just really think about it. If a gang wanted to go murder the family next door and they gave you hush money, would you take it? If the gang wanted to go next door, and let's say next door is called Syria, and they want to take over 1/3 of the country, and they got to murder 1/3 of the household and steal those rooms, 1/3 of them, and they gave you a little hush money, and you took the money, could you sleep at night after they murder those kids? Could you? How does Bernie sleep at night? How does Trump sleep at night? How does Obama sleep at night? How does Clinton sleep at night? How does Macron sleep at night? How does Putin sleep at night? How do all your kings and lords, because you watch the Disney cartoons and you believe that these people aren't psychopathic, or you believe that they say they're good people, that they can control a psychopathic system that's completely against anything that they want to do for the human race. I personally couldn't. I love kids. I love people. I couldn't. If I got that much blood on my hands, you won't get me on camera talking about how I'm going to do good. And I know the system, and I took money from Raytheon, and I took money from Lockheed Martin. I took money from the military industrial complex to murder people. So you believe, but the stance that I usually take is you believe I don't. Don't try to convince me about Bernie. Don't try to convince me about Trump. Don't try to convince me about Clinton or Oprah or none of them. Because I'm not interested. The system won't let them do, even if one of them has that human ability to have a tear because you took money from General Dynamics, and that money was used to murder 20,000 children on the continent of Africa. The system aren't going to let them have a tear. Stop believing. The greatest waste in the universe, I think, is the human being being forced to labor so that a small elite can rule the world. I think that's the greatest waste. I think that's why the aliens don't come visit. I do. I think they fly around all the time. I think they look at us, they're like, oh, I ain't going down there. They're still fighting over energy, and energy's everywhere. They're still fighting over oil and oil. Energy, they can't seem to figure out. They want to murder each other. What they gonna do to us? That's what I think the aliens are. That's what I think the scriptures and from the Bible to the Quran, going back to the Sanskrit text, I think they all said it. And that's like, no, we ain't going down there. Hell no. Do you see what they're doing to each other? What do you think they'd do to us if they get free energy? What do you think that they would do if we actually let them get outside of their solar system? What do you think they kill and murder and eat each other? They vote for Bernies. They vote for Trumps. They vote for Obamas. And it's not that, I'm not talking about you per se. Like, I mean, we're all gaslit to a degree, right? We all believe some things that are bull. And I'm trying to come out of my belief system. So I'm just saying that they look at us and they realize that we aren't evolved enough. We can't stand together with each other, let alone our environment. We are killing ourselves. Like, all right, here's an example. Here's just, all right. Now, let's say y'all single for a minute. Y'all single, everybody's single. Everybody's single. Say y'all out on a dating website. I used to do that. I used to go out to the dating websites and like look for my mate. I used to do that. So I gotta get married. My mama on my back. I gotta find somebody to get married, start going through profiles. Say you came up to a profile. And the profile said, oh, you know, it's nice looking young man, nice looking young lady. And you list all the hobbies. I like to go golfing and hiking. And I like this. And my favorite color is purple or something, whatever. You're like, oh, look good. Got some great stuff. And you get down to the last little line of description of hobbies. I like to cut myself. You're a cutter. I like to mutilate my body sometimes. You like to mutilate your body? I'm not talking about ear piercing. Every now and then I like to cut a toe off. I cut an arm off, you know, if I don't like it. You're like, whoa, hang on. You're self-destructive? You like to hurt yourself? You go out on a date with that person. If you're an alien and you're flying around in space and you run into a species that's killing itself, that's mutilating itself, that's cutting off its Yemen and happy about it, that's cutting off its Congo, that's killing its Syria, that's killing parts of its own body, its own creature. It's supposed to be a think tank of 7 billion working together to solve problems, and all you see is it's killing itself? Hell no, you ain't going on no date with no human beings. Hell no, you ain't going down to say, here, I bring you free energy. Here's 0 point. Here's a spaceship. Here, you can take this and do these things so you can come up here and murder us and murder our kids too. Hell no, you keep flying. That's why I think Captain Kirk is out there, yo. I believe the universe is teeming with life. I think life is every damn where. And they all fly the hell around our solar system. They stay right outside of our sensor range. Every now and then they're like, nope, that's Earth, that's solar system. I think we're a quarantine area. And this is kind of what Jesus said. God kind of said this a little bit. Kinda, I think. I don't know. I didn't read the whole Sanskrit text, but I'm gonna imagine in the Sanskrit text they said it too. We are protected. We're a protected area because we're evolving, and we haven't figured out that we shouldn't be mutilating each other. We shouldn't be mutilating ourselves. And until we figure out, until we stop voting for psychopaths, until we stop voting for psychopathic groups and gangs, we're going to stay here, as we should, and we'll all die together. That's what I was thinking. That's why I say I think nations are gangs. I don't see any difference. I see no difference at all. When I was a young kid, we used to run around. I grew up in a little town. I'm from Fort Washington. Recognize, you know, West Side. You know, I see these little kids, really little. They got the gang colors and they do the gang signs and dances and stuff. And I actually don't see any difference between a nationalist and a gang member. Same damn thing. I don't see any difference between a gang member, a nationalist, a race person, a religious person. They're all the same. They're all just gangs. They're just groups of people who ganged up for force against somebody else. They all got the gang signs. They all got the gang colors. And they all have gang mentality on different levels. You might call it law and order. It's not lawful and it's not orderful. Why? Because every nation murdered a bunch of people to take the territory they got. And they drew fantasy territory borders around it. What does a gang do? Comes into a neighborhood. What does a mafia do? They go into a neighborhood. They use force and violence. They create a territory. They say, this is ours and all the humans in it belong to us. And the first generation doesn't like it. Of course, they fight back. But how do you get them to get the next generation to embrace it? You create a Department of Education. You make them say the pledge of, I pledge allegiance to the Crips of the United States of South Central and to the Republic because they're going to murder everybody, but we're on their side. And after a while, you got all the few generations, all the kids, they believe in it. And they worship it. And they're a part of the gang. They're a part of the nation. They'll put the bumper sticker on their truck. They'll put the flag on the back. They'll fight for it. And ignore the fact that it was created in massive genocide and the murder of people who were just trying to live their own lives. You wash over the crime. Why? The crime doesn't exist. Every nation is a criminal. Like Bob Marley said, all laws are illegal. Every last one of them. The cool thing is we live in a time where we can actually fix it. I think the internet is one of the most destructive, dangerous tools that was ever created, because the internet is showing these kids their parents are some damn fools. It is. The kids are looking at us, including me. They're like, what in the world are they arguing about? Why are they fussing and fighting? I see these kids, they're picking up a lot of them where we left off back in the 80s. They don't give a damn about your race. They don't give a damn about your conflict. They just want to live life. Kids are amazing creatures when they're born. Amazing creatures, and we break them at birth. We give them our conflict. We give them our bigotry and our racism, whether it's well-meaned or the hate version. It's all still hate. We give them our nation. We make sure they get brainwashed in school. I send my kids to school. I'm like, hey, y'all know y'all not American, right? My kids think I'm crazy. They're like, Dad keeps saying I'm not American. You saying I'm American? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to believe? I say, listen, if it's my job just to make you confused, then I'll do that. But it's my job to make you an upgrade of me. And I believe. And I think when you're born in a forced labor plantation of an earth of a nation, you are either living others' belief systems or you're trying to discover your own. And I think as a species, imagine where we could go if we actually followed our own beliefs. We created our own. You looked into places you weren't supposed to look to figure out why the others gave you that belief system at birth. That's why I love it. I don't believe. One of y'all famous people start a hashtag. Hashtag, I don't believe. I stopped believing. I don't believe in any of it. Anybody who comes to me and they want to lead me, I walk away. You're not going to lead me nowhere. I don't believe in you. Damn it, I don't believe in me. I'm not even here. I'm not here. If I can fit on the point of a pen, say I got a daggone pen. If I can fit on the tip, I ain't got a pen, I got a paintbrush. Who's painting? If I can fit, if my whole atomic structure, my mass can fit on the tip of that damn thing right there, I'm not actually here. And if I'm not here, to hell with your belief system. I need to figure out what I am. All right, let me do some comments. I'm off, and I started watching it, blew me away. I'll post it. I think y'all should watch it. How long was this? Stacy the alien. It was 38 minutes. It was a good 38 minutes though, because when you listen to somebody who's seen this and played with it and talked about it, all going back to creating nuclear bombs in the 1960s, you realize that they build construct upon construct upon construct for our fake world, so we keep believing down this fake avenue, these fake paths, this belief system that we got to fight each other over energy while they got all the free energy. And they're discovering mutant powers, making Iron Man suits. But you know, the danger of it is this. If you can pull all the energy that could power the planet from a space that small, what the hell do you think is going to happen to your kids when Putin's kids are given an Iron Man suit? What do you think is going to happen to your kids when the little Obama girls, they're given an Iron Man suit? What do you think's gonna happen when one of them has the ability to pull that power? The taps that they've been working on since, what is the 1940s? Probably before that. Tapping into the energy, the immense energy in just a 1 cubic square inch of oxygen. 0 point. We are literally turning on our children by not forcing our governments out of secrecy. We are literally turning on the future generations of our kids. We are setting them up for massive failure, continuing to work for this system. I need to look at some comments. So anyway, that's where my mind was. I was kind of blown away this morning. I was kind of just looking at them like, man, like all of it fits together. And this is why I talk about all the things that I do, mainly because y'all send me crazy stuff. Y'all, I'm like, ghosts are real. Ghosts are real. Y'all, we all know they're not ghosts. But they're real. Y'all send me aliens. The aliens are real. They're not really aliens. They're your religious leaders, the Nikola Teslas, but they're real. Paranormal, all of this stuff is real. Everything we think, we achieve. Teleportation. What is a fax machine? If we're actually just energy, and this is how much we can, our whole atomic structure can fit on that pen, then we aren't really we. If you can upload it into a computer, in which you can digitally, and recreate DNA like they did at that French university and transmit it over the internet, hell yeah, you can teleport a human, because a human ain't even a human. The little atoms, those little atoms on that pen, do you think those atoms don't exist on Mars? Do you think we can't teleport over there? Of course we can. Everything we've conceived, we've always done. And this is why I post stuff from the Zeitgeist movement, the Venus Project. I talk about direct democracy because and every now and then we touch politics, because this is all about the paradigm shift. It's about bringing everybody together for the paradigm shift. It's about breaking down the narrative, like Brother Walter. It's like breaking down the narratives that our leaders are coming to save us. That the Bernies and the Trumps and the Clintons and the people who lead you, want to lead you, that they actually respect you. I don't think they do. You come to me and you want to tell me you want to lead me, you think I'm peaceful. To me, those are fighting words. Them fighting words. You're trying to tell me that I'm not sovereign. You telling me I need to vote for you? You're trying to tell me I'm not a sovereign. I can't vote for myself? You're coming to me telling me that you need to represent me, that I can't represent myself? You're telling me that this sick system that's murdered 5 million people since 9/11 should actually exist, and you want me to help support you to keep that system going? I'm fighting words. Brother John, what can it? All right, anyway, it got a little serious, but that's why I don't think y'all should be working. I don't think this world works. We can take care of everybody, we just choose not to. We can feed everybody, we can house everybody, we just choose not to. I think we are the greatest waste of energy in the whole universe because we still believe, and I don't think we should. I think we should build a better world. I think we should hand our kids something phenomenal. I think we should listen to the whistleblowers. I think we should transform our societies. I think we should stop being gang members, y'all. I think we should leave the gang. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Ricky, get out the car! Y'all ever watch that movie? What was the name of that movie? Get out the car. They were doing a drive-by shooting because his brother got shot and he was gonna go shoot him. I used to watch that in college. What is that? That's not, what is the name of that movie? I forgot. But he got in the car and they were gonna go do a drive-by shooting. No, that wasn't Ricky. Was it Ricky? I don't know who got shot. No, Ricky got shot. Ricky got shot, but he was in the car. That's what it was, right? He was in the back of the car and Doughboy was his brother and they were going to do the drive-by shooting. And he just really started thinking about it. His paradigm shifted. He's like, nah, let me out the car. I don't want to live in a violent world. Boys in the hood. Yes, thank you, Brother Dane. Boys in the hood. Let me out the car. I don't want to do a drive-by shooting. Let me out the car, Bernie. Let me out the car. Why? Because I don't think what is a drone attack? If not a drive-by shooting, it's a fly-by shooting. What is sending our troops to another nation to invade? It's the same thing. It's gang activity. That's all it is. Now, because the people who they wear suits and they got nice, they smell nice and got pens and they write the laws, they're no less gang members. In fact, they're the leaders of the gang. Let me out the car, Obama. Let me out the car, Trump. I don't want to be in there. I don't want to be in there. I don't believe in drive-by shootings. I don't believe in gang activity. I don't have a slave mind. I'm not going to support you. I don't work for you. And the system has to go away. It has to go away. Let me see. Oh, the spot. I'm sorry, Tina. Spoiler alert. Y'all should watch Boys in the Hood. You need to watch these shows. I'm telling you, you need to watch Boys in the Hood. Is there a good, like, everybody needs to watch a show about poor people from another nation. Everybody needs to watch shows about poor people from across the train tracks. Everybody needs to watch shows because, like I said, the poor people, I understand, they're the only real people in the gang. In the game, and that's why I got what I got. I don't know who sent that to me. Somebody said I'm being blocked and I'm being censored because I said one or two things. It had to do with Bernie, or it had to do with the fact that I said that kids become violent because we make them. And I don't blame the white nationalists or the black nationalists that they're supposed to be that angry. I don't blame the MS-13s. I don't blame any of them. They're the real people in the equation. The fake and the phonies are us. They became what their environments made them. And we turn on them. And I got in trouble for it, so you couldn't post the last video. I saw it, I was a little upset, but I laughed at it. I looked at it, I was like, what? It said content blocked for violating community standards. It violates community standards to say what the behavioral scientists and neuroscientists have been saying for the longest time, that we make violent people. We literally manufacture them with the laws, your Bernies and your Trumps and your Democrats and your Republicans, your left and your rights, all of your kings and queens and lords. Right. We make them violent. We make abusers. We make men beat their wives and we blame them. We raise them that way. We know if a kid grows up and his mother is getting the hell beat out of her, that he's going to grow up and most likely do it too. We know that. And we don't do anything about it. Believe they could print all the money they want and they could make sure every little girl in America is safe. You know that, right? They could print all the money they want and they could put cameras in the schools. They can put cameras on the politicians and the police and everywhere. They can monitor everything. They know every damn thing. Like Jamal Khashoggi, they know somebody wrote a book on all the information they knew ahead of time. They didn't do anything. They can make everybody safe. But they choose not to. It's a choice. So let me out the car. I don't want to do a drive-by shooting. I don't want your violent world anymore. I don't want your violent world. Good morning, Brother Kevin. Let me see what we got. In fact, creation is merely the application of energy to matter to create a new entity, a baby, a car, a planet, a star, a galaxy. That's why I love Brother Kevin. When you come back on the show, man? We need to talk. That's it. Exactly. But they get you to fight creation theory, right? And then you got the creationists and the, what is it, the non-creationists? I don't know what it's called. They got that whole fight. I'm on creation side. I'm not. I'm on creation side. I'm not. Meanwhile, scientists say, hey guys, hello. Woo. Religion's kind of right. They're not totally right, but they're kind of right, because, this is all energy. All matter is energy. And creation is just the means of turning all of the energy into matter so everybody will believe. So you can see something to believe. So when you touch something, you believe. When you go touch and kiss your husband, feel the lips. You're actually feeling magnetic forces and energy more than you're feeling any kind of matter or anything. It's just frozen energy. And all we need to do is unfreeze the energy. Imagine that. It's not even about making a tap. It's just unfreezing it. It's all frozen energy. And then you think about how electromagnetically all of it fits together, and they want to roll out 5G. You know what 5G might be? Because it controls all the electromagnetic forces and the tighter waves. Damn it, I don't know. That might be a way of turning us all to energy. Who knows? Who knows what they discover? You have no idea. The only thing you know is Bernie, Obama, and Trump, and all of them, they all believe in 5G. You know that. They all believe. They all rolling it out. That might be a means of uncreating and turning us back into energy. Huh. That would be interesting. I'd laugh too. I'm sorry. I know. It's like, dang, that's kind of crazy, man. That's kind of deep. Why are you laughing about that? I think it's funny. Because I think it's funny. Because we're stupid. I think everything goes the way it's supposed to. I think it does. And I think if we're this dumb that we let governments that hide and lie about free energy roll out new monitoring energy solutions, if we still believe and we're fighting with Russia, you still think Russia rigged the election with $4,722.07? We still believe these things? You still believe that kids of brown skin are more important than kids of white skin? You still believe that kids of white skin are more important than kids of yellow skin? You still believe these things, then I think we should die. I think we should. I think the elite should roll out their 5G and turn us all to energy sources and do what Tesla said. He said he could, given the right wavelength, right, he could power a station on Mars from Earth. We believe. I don't know. Who knows? Peter Joseph in the Zeitgeist Movement. Thank you, brother Kevin, for plugging that. Yes, you guys need to follow Peter Joseph. Follow the Zeitgeist Movement, the Ubuntu Movement, the Venus Project. We can get out. It's easy. It's easy to get out of the bull. Stop believing and listen to the people who've been working on this stuff for decades. And how do we get out of these gang mentality forced environments? How do we change the kids so they don't grow up to be gang members like us, throwing up gang signs every time you watch a news report and you turn on people somewhere on the other side of the world that you don't even know, right? It's called being farmed. Yes, Age of Credilla, we're being farmed and we're raising our kids to be farm animals. And I think that's a bad idea. They market us. Yes, Tamara, they market us. They market and they market to us and we believe it. Why do they market to us? Because we believe it. Why do they keep advertising, marketing to us? Because we buy it and we sell it and then we destroy it and then we want to buy more of it coming out of the holiday season. We believe. We work for these corporations. It's all slave labor. We know that now. All the corporations are all foul. They're all dirty. They're all psychopathic CEOs, but they give us money for retirement. So we go work for them. We believe. We keep showing up work every Monday. We don't want to walk away. And we don't put together a strategy to buy some land. We don't start giving things away. Like, I think that's what people should be doing. You should be making things and literally giving them away. When you go to the patent offices, yeah, that's why we don't have energy in the public domain, because they steal the patents. And if you don't apply for a patent, they murder you. Why? Because in my country, the Democrats and Republicans got a police state. They know every damn thing. They got the NSA, they're monitoring it all, and they'll murder you. But you believe. Bernie 2020. Oprah 2020, Elon Musk 2020, next psychopath 2020, next person who can't do a damn thing against the system, who has no damn good idea about one thing that's related to the fact that we actually don't have to kill each other and compete for resources. None of them say that. You notice that, right? None of them say that. None of them. That's why I don't believe in them. I'm not down with them. I watched Blood Diamond again the other day. Great movie. It is, Tamara, and people need to watch it because everything is blood minerals. Everything's blood diamond, blood minerals. All about the control of resources. And we live cushy lives that convince us that we're good people. We have some resolutions every year. And that everything we buy, it's not based on enslaving other people. Don't buy it. Don't work for them. And we eat it up. We do, Lori. We eat it up. We believe it. We eat it up. Love 2020 would be a good thing, Daniel. I mean, it would be a great thing. It would be a great thing if people stopped. It would be a wonderful thing if people stopped believing and they started embracing what humans actually are. We are manifestation engines. When you aren't locked up making money for the queens and the lords, kings, patriarchal society that's completely violent based, when you stop working and sending your money to the gangs in nice suits, you actually spend time thinking about what's important, manifesting what will come next. And it, to me, is nothing more important than to manifest what comes next instead of being locked into age-old fights from the 1800s, still fighting for things that just don't matter anymore. You can try on Google. Kimberly says on Amazon. Kimberly, don't go to Amazon. Everybody, listen, if you have Amazon accounts, you got to delete them, guys. We gotta let go. We got to walk back from the Amazon crack pipe. We got to walk back from the give the elites all of our money crack pipe. I know Google probably isn't much better. You don't have some choice, but try Netflix. Go to try something that's a little smaller. Go from like, cause Jeff Bezos, he has an Iron Man suit. Does he have kids? I don't know if he has kids, but his kid's about to murder our kids because we keep giving him our money. Let's not give him any more money. Let me see. Water is life. Yes, Brother Jack, water is life and everybody can have water. I mean, imagine how much power is in 1 cubic square inch of water just from the hydrogen alone. And that's like released technology, right? What we know of hydrogen, humongous. But they banned that. You even got the guy who make the hydrogen car. That's been banned for a long time. There's a guy making hydrogen devices trying to hook them up to houses. They won't let you even do that. Because we believe you can abuse. But who was that talking about? Did Mary talking about that? You can abuse cattle because they believe they're cattle. You can't abuse a cow. Cow got horns, heavy. It'll stampede you. It'll fight back. Cattle, no, livestock, no, they get up in the morning. Their whole life is about farting and eating, walking where the farmer says, going to getting in the car, start your car up, put in some nice music, make you feel good on your way to work, get your coffee, so you can go eat your grass, get up to be a nice fat weight, and then 5G, and they turn you into energy. Think about that. 5G doesn't have to turn you into a bag of goo and energy. They're already cannibalizing us. They harvest our day. They harvest our year. They harvest our entire life, giving them the fruit of all of our labor, all of our energy. And then we convince our kids to do it too. We convince our kids to be in the gang. We convince our kids that the gang mentality of being a nation is a good idea. Brother Kevin talking about the China study, Cole and T. Campbell. Everybody should read the China study. Everybody should read the China study. Why? Because weak, sick people who need their drug dealers for drugs will never turn on the drug dealer. People who rub chemical lotions on their skin and got antibacterial rubs and soaps and makeup and lotions and perfumes, sick people destroying their DNA, poisoning their body, will never turn on the pharmaceutical industries that make the drugs because they ban the natural ones and the pharmaceutical industry that bought your nation. They'll never turn. Weak people can't demand anything of their government. Skin is mesh. It's the biggest organ in your body. Everything you put on it goes into your bloodstream for your immune system to deal with. Almost everything. If you're poisoning yourself, they don't have to start another world war. You're depopulating yourself. You're doing it to yourself. We're killing and robbing ourselves for dollars. We are hey hun, and that's why the aliens will not land a ship. They stay the hell away from Earth, as they should. Every now and then, maybe a ship will crash or something, and the Egyptians found one, or who was at Thoth, left one under the pyramid, and maybe that's what Bob Lazar worked on. Who knows? I don't know if all that's true. Just a lot of information in our history that they whitewash from us. But we're killing ourselves, and if I were alien, I wouldn't land either. Let me see. We can channel their 5G against them. We can, Brother Daniel, like everything. We can use all the technology for the benefit of humanity, but we don't. This is the first time that we've ever, in the human race, not used technology for the benefit of everyone. We work for the corporations to use it for the benefit of their families. The wheel was used for us. The carts made our life easy. Cultivation and agriculture of seeds, that made our life easy. The trains made our lives easier. And then they make a learning software. They make AI. Hell no, that's not gonna make your life easier. Nikola Tesla discovers 0-point energy and pulling energy out of space and transmitting energy over a long day. Hell no, now you can't use that for the convenience of the human race. No, it's too powerful. That's why we're always being played. The New Human Rights Movement by Peter Joseph. Yes, Brother Kevin, that is an awesome book. I haven't read the whole thing, but it's phenomenal. It's on my book list. Everything that brother writes is solid. Not this one. I always walk away from the farmer and the barn. All right, Brother Gown, you gotta walk away. Our farmers are lost too. Our farmers, they're not even growers anymore. They're chemical cultivators. They use chemicals to cultivate plants that make compounds or don't make compounds that they have that we evolved on. You need to eat natural food. You need to grow your own food, everybody. Triad from China since the 6th century mafia and still going strong. That's why Canada cannot stop the fentanyl coming in. I heard about that, Dee. I heard about that. And it's just another thing. It's gang mentality. The gangs never go anywhere because we're gangs. We're in gang mentality. We just look nicer and we dress nicer and drive nice cars and we have resolutions because we're nice. We have nice gestures. We have nice gestures. So it's not really slavery. It's not really forced labor. It's not gang mentality and gang activity when we do it. Because we have gestures. And it makes us feel good about ourselves. We don't do the violence. We make the young people in the military who don't know any better do it. We let the Department of Homeland Security do it. We let the CIA do it. We brainwash kids into gang activity as children, pledging allegiance to flags to do it. And that have always done it. The problem is the mirror. The problem has always been us. It's not the government. It's not any security agencies. The problem is always us. They will always manifest who we are. And that's why the triads running strong. They are us. We just convinced ourselves that we're a little bit better. And we're not. All of those concepts, all the things we manifest by the tribalism that we are, it manifests hate all over this planet. Why? Because we're wave energy. We're not matter. We are wave energy. And we're always putting off waves. We're sending waves everywhere. Other people are picking them all up all over this planet. Some people a little more in tune than others. And if we think gang mentality, other people think gang mentality too. And the government just becomes us. That's why I say government we always will get the government we deserve. We will always manifest gang activity because we act like a gang. That's why it's not a cliche to say love is the answer. The question never matters. Love is always the answer. It's always the answer. Never turn on one part of your body. Never turn on another part of your species. Never turn on the environment you need to exist to be a species. And that'll be our first step to becoming sentient, to creating a planet of 7 billion people, manifesting beautiful, positive, amazing things that protect us and our environment, our planet from things that are always coming to kill it. Homeschooling is a great thing, Lori, if you can. If not, send your kids with a filter so they don't take that bull from the line school trying to turn them into support for gang members. My father says there's about 10,000 religion cults in the world. You don't have to figure them all out. Balance, kindness, and love. Absolutely, Tamara, and everything's a gang. They're all cults. The Democrats, the Republicans, the Americans, the Mexicans, all of them, they're all cults. All of them. They're all religions. They all have belief systems. And I just think you should stop believing. Go find out who you are. Go. The first thing you need to read is what they say don't read. The first place you need to look is where they say you shouldn't. That's why when it comes to energy and the things that cause conflict when people don't have it, all the things Nikola Tesla found out, they're still redacted on the FBI website. And they don't even hide it from you. You can go out there right now. And those are the things that they showed you. They said there were 5 boxes of notes and things that he left in his house, and there was a hotel that he stayed in, and they all disappeared. So even he gave so much knowledge on how this world actually works, how this universe and all this stuff actually tie together with energy, that they didn't even produce boxes of his notes. They only gave you the stuff that they thought you'd get nothing from. And they redacted almost half of it. You can go out on the FBI's website and look at it right now. Because they want to keep you in conflict. And when people don't have information, they fight each other. Same thing about the Martin Luther King documents. Why do you think they still redacted them? Well, they redacted a lot. You don't get the names, but you can read enough to know who killed Martin Luther King. Both sides, the civil rights movement and the KKK. They worked together and killed that man. They don't want you to see that. Why? Martin Luther King taught some of the most powerful things. He taught you got to work with everybody, that we're all family. He stood up for the kids in Vietnam. He stood up for white kids. He stood up for everybody. He wanted everybody to come together, and that's when both sides murdered him. Because the most dangerous message is a message about no conflict. The leaders of all sides are always corrupt, and they killed the man. He taught that injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. He didn't say injustice to poor brown kids. He didn't say injustice to Vietnam kids. He didn't say injustice to white kids. He said all injustice. Every last drop of it, everywhere, is injustice to everybody, everywhere. That's when it all comes down to the end. Martin Luther King, at that young age, he was a little kid. They murdered him. He was a little kid. They killed him. It's because he figured out unity is the answer. What Lori just said, unity is the entire answer. And when people figure out sovereignty is more important than anything, that your neighbor's sovereignty, your friend's sovereignty next door, the sovereignty of the people in the other gang nation is just as important as yours, and you need to stand up for it, that's when the world becomes something phenomenal. That's when we shift the paradigm. 2010, Tea Party was infiltrated and melted. Yeah, Brother Jack, and I saw that. The Tea Party, the Constitution Party, the Green Party's now going through it, the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, everything that gets big gets infiltrated and taken over. Because the minute that you agree to take away someone else's sovereignty for your group, the real violent gang members take over your gang. You can't group up against anybody. You need to ungroup completely for everybody. Then we make a better world for the kids. Swamp wants an easy ride. Yeah, it does, Jack. Swamp wants an easy ride, and it has it. It has it because the kids who look up on the internet and they see their parents acting just like them. They're children, just like them. They're just bigger children. The only difference between most of these adults and their kids, the adults have jobs, but the kids see the same gang activity, the same ignorance at school that they do in their parents. The same flipping out and cussing and acting immature, they see the same thing in their parents because people stopped growing up a while ago. Because he was doing what he was doing. Yeah, well, Martin Luther King or Tesla. I don't know who you're talking about, Sister Dee. Still too many labels flying around here. Yeah, Brother Gil, they are, and they all got to go. The conflict stops when there are no labels, because that's why people conflict. When people stop being labels and they stop being groups, it all goes away. Martin Luther is among us. Yes, he is. He didn't go anywhere. People don't ever die. We're all just energy. You actually don't go anywhere. All the religions were right about that, and science is now starting to explain that to you. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Yes, it does, Tanya. Love, because love is the answer to everything. When you love everybody else and you love yourself, you can't have a conflict. You can't have a military. You don't have a problem with guns and weapons and violence because you don't have anybody that will stand behind you. You don't have people who will vote for Bernie. You don't have people who will vote for Trump. You have people who realize the problem is never caused by the people who are in office, and the butt in that chair is never attached to the solution. The solution is the people. We're killing and robbing ourselves for dollars. Yes, we are. Don't like the society and culture that rationalizes us killing each other. Look in the mirror, observe what you are manifesting today. Brother Kevin with the last word. And that's how it gets down. Look in the mirror, solve your own problems in your own mirror, and don't embrace violence. Popular violence is gang violence. Government violence is gang violence. It's all cartel violence. It's all mafioso. It's all de-evolved concepts that we shouldn't be embracing. All right, I gotta go. Listen, it's been great. What's the name of the title? Humans are manifestation engines. We need to work on building a world that manifests the things we want for the next generation, that manifests sentient activity. We're wasted in careers. We're wasted in jobs. There are certain jobs and careers that do great things. Don't get me wrong. We should work. But working for big corporations and working to keep the status quo, that's the mistake. Your job is to sit around and love and think of positive things, create things that are phenomenal, figure out the things our ancients tried to teach us, our elders tried to hand us, not collect as much as we can to have as much as we can so our kids can have more so they can be on top of somebody else's kids. That's the mistake. We are the biggest wasted energy in the universe, and we got to stop being wasted energy, and we got to use human activity and human energy for things that actually mean something, not just keep our breakaway civilization and our kings, queens, and lords on top. I'm out of here. Y'all have a happy day. Let's make 2019 a little bit different. I'm Gerard. I'm 98% energy, and that 2%, don't look at me, and I disappear, because the 2% just becoming a wave. Y'all have a great day.